who is living there while they're in Toronto said when she goes out the front door, she hits the leaves from the banana plant that hit her in the face. So that's the hard one, because if you've ever had to dig up a banana plant, and they're not supposed to be hardy in our area of the world, but they are if they're shielded by the house, because they get the warmth of the house, and this one happens to be. And the second one is oh, come on, now you got me. But again, another one that's very difficult to dig up. So our grandson, who's a little bit younger than I am, and a little bit stronger than I am, is going to meet us there and help us dig these things out. And actually, we moved to a place 2 years ago when we downsized, and we came from 3 acres of gardens and gardens and gardens. And we came to a place that didn't have any gardens, so we moved 300 plants here. So we're still planting the place, and we like plants. What can I tell you? So.
I'm glad to hear banana plants can survive that weather, because that's what I thought. A friend of mine has one, but they keep it in the house. And I'll have to tell them maybe if they plant it near the house, that the warmth from the house will protect it during the winter. We're having some really weird weather here.
Oh my! Yesterday it was 86 here. I can't imagine what it was like in North Carolina yesterday. Well, and Wednesday it's going to be 56.
Yeah, and we've I think it was last week sometime we dropped down below frost, and now it jumped up to 80. But tomorrow, I don't know if you're aware of this, but we have a hurricane in the ocean.
I have heard that
on the coast, and that's odd. We don't get those until August, September. It used to bother me that it was creeping into a little bit of at the end of July. It was bothering me, but now we've jumped all the way to May. We've got our first hurricane. I'm just, and you're right. Something's going on. And Kate keeps saying, we need it. So I'm going to see if I can get somebody from NOAA to come on and talk to us about this, because this is concerning me.
It is concerning. And they used to talk about April showers bring May flowers. Now we're having May showers because we've had so much rain. And again, this coming week, we're going to have a lot of rain. The flowers are wonderful. But we've had a lot of rain and a lot of wind. It has been a much windier year than I can ever remember.
It's very heavy winds, very, very
heavy winds.
And it's definitely very much. Good morning, Dr. Saggu. Good evening, actually. Good evening in India.
Good evening.
Good morning, Kim. Namaste, Ankit. Rakeshji. Especially.
And I will take
all the dollars.
Hey,
how is the $1?
God bless everybody and stay safe.
Same to you. God bless you. And don't forget your patch.
You got it.
Lynn. I always enjoy Lynn. How are you doing? Oh my gosh, Dr. Saggu.
I'm good.
So what good news do you have to bring us today?
So as we discussed about the metabolic syndrome, I think now this is time how to deal with the metabolic syndrome and how the bariatric surgery is going to help us to treat metabolic syndrome. So the metabolic syndrome is exposing us for 5 times vulnerable to the diabetes mellitus and 10 times for the cardiovascular accidents you can see, and 2 times of the hypertension, 10 times of the hypertension. So at least we should do something for the metabolic syndrome as a prevention. We just discussed about the diet part on that day, that how the diet should be and what the constants of the diet should be, and what would be the timing of the diets and how we need to change the lifestyle. But now if we talk about the bariatric surgery, so bariatric surgery is a therapeutic intervention. It is a therapeutic intervention to treat the cause and the manifestation of obesity and to treat all the comorbid condition because of the obesity. So if we are looking for sustainable long-term weight loss, then yes, bariatric surgery is there. The lot of benefits of the bariatric surgery is that we are going to lose weight, which is sustainable for the it's a long-term weight loss. Number two, it is going to increase the life expectancy of the patient. Number three, it is going to decrease the healthcare cost of the patient in the future. Number four, it is going to give the mental peace to the patient. Number five, it is going to treat all the comorbid conditions along with the obesity. It is there would be a substantial improvement or the resolution of the diabetes, of the blood pressure hypertension, for obstructive sleep apnea, for infertility in the female, for backache, everything. So the glucose metabolism, it becomes good. Glucose control also becomes very good, and glucose tolerance also becomes very good. So there are a number of the procedure in bariatric surgery which we are doing nowadays, and every procedure is being done by the laparoscopic technique. So the most common procedure in India is a laparoscopic sleeve gastrectomy we do, and in US it is Roux-en-Y gastric bypass is most common, but we are doing equal number of Roux-en-Y gastric bypass and gastric sleeve and mini gastric bypass. A lot of procedures are there. If I talk about the laparoscopic sleeve gastrectomy, which is also known as banana sleeve, sleeve resection, so many names has been given to this procedure. This is a very simple procedure where we remove some part of the stomach, which is the reservoir of the food there, and we remove around 80 to 85% of the part of the stomach. So the total capacity of the stomach, it goes down. So this will restrict your diet. It will restrict the portion size also. And earlier it was known that the diabetes was because of the pancreas, but nowadays it is not because of the pancreas, or we can say not only because of the pancreas, but yes, it is basically because of your digestive system. It is basically driven by, you can say, the neuroendocrine system of your digestive system, because in the reaction to your foods, a lot of hormones are being secreted from the digestive system, and all those hormones, they regulate the secretion of the insulin, they regulate your hunger and or your satiety reflexes through the centers which are present in the brain at the hypothalamus. So when we do the bariatric surgery, so there is an alteration of all these hormones, and because of these hormones, we are going to control the diabetes, or we are going to control the weight, or we are going to control the other system of the body. So if you talk about the sleeve gastrectomy, number one, there is a restriction of the food, that the portion size of your food will go less. It will decrease in the size. It will give you the less calories, and there would be more restriction. And the hormonal part, yes, because we are going to remove that part of the stomach. So because the ghrelin is a one hormone which is responsible for the hunger. The more is the level of the ghrelin in the body, the more you have a hunger. So we can say this is orexogenic hormone. This is a diabetogenic hormone, which is being secreted by the stomach. So because of the orexogenic manifestation, it will increase the hunger, and because of the diabetogenic action, it will decrease the insulin level, or it can decrease the insulin sensitivity, or it can increase the level of the growth hormones. So all these conditions, the ghrelin will increase the hunger, and it predisposes to have an obesity. So by removing the part of the stomach, we are going to remove the cells also which produce the ghrelin, and after the surgery, the level of the ghrelin hormone goes down, and because of that, we have a good control on the diabetes after sleeve gastrectomy, and we have a good weight loss after the sleeve gastrectomy. Second procedure is the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. What we do in the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, we divide the stomach into two pieces. Proximal is a very small piece. We can say it is hardly, you can say 20 to 40 ml, and the bigger the distal piece. So now what we do, we connect this proximal small piece of the stomach to the distal intestines. So now the food will not go to the stomach, which is the bigger part. It will go to the smaller part of the stomach, and then directly from there, the food will travel into your intestines. So that causes control of the diabetes. So there are so many physiological effects because of the gastric bypass. The one is the impact of the weight loss. So because of the weight loss, because of the decrease in the number of the adipose tissues in the fat cells, the insulin sensitivity is go up. It will go up, and resistance of the insulin will go down. And it will also protect the pancreatic beta cell function. So the beta cells are the cells in the pancreas from where the insulin is being secreted. So it will increase the function of the beta cell. It will decrease the insulin resistance. It will increase the insulin sensitivity. So because the smaller part of the stomach is there in the pathway of your food, so that is why the portion size will also go down. So the total portion, the quantity of the meal which we will take, that will go down. So that is why the total intake of the calories will also go down. Then we are exclude the distal stomach. That will also have an impact on the weight loss. Then there is the exclusion of the proximal small intestine. That will also play the major role in the control of the diabetes and the weight loss, because a lot of anti-incretin are being secreted from that part of the intestine that will not be secreted after the bariatric surgery, after the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. So the incretin level, incretin is the hormone, or we can say the effect of the hormone, which increases the insulin sensitivity, it decreases the insulin resistance, and it increases the satiety. There is a more satiation after the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, because this hormone is going to tell the brain that you are full. You don't need to have more food. So early satiety would be there, insulin sensitivity will go up. So in that way, we are going to control the diabetes. Another effect is there is increased level of GLP-1. So a lot of hormones are being secreted from mouth to the whole of the intestine. So these are the very important hormones. That is, the ghrelin is important, insulin is important, and now the GLP-1, which is being secreted from the intestine, is also important, because what the GLP-1 does, it has an incretin effect. Incretin means it will increase the sensitivity of the insulin. It will decrease the resistance of the insulin. It will give you the early satiety. It will make you feel full early after taking small bites, or we can have after the small portion of your meal, you will be having the satiety. So this is how the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass have an effect on the diabetes. Then there are mini gastric bypass. There is the biliopancreatic diversion. There is the jejunal bypass. There is the BPD with the DS. A lot of procedures are being done. So the principle of all the procedure is we are going to increase the sensitivity of the insulin and decrease the resistance to the insulin. So in spite of having effect on the diabetes, we have an effect on the reproductive life of the females. Because after the bariatric surgery, there is the leptin is also go down, and the female sex hormones concentration will go up. There is more chances of ovulation. There is a regularization of the menstrual periods. There is a decreased androgenic effect in PCOS, polycystic ovarian disease, in the females. So the hirsutism, that is the overgrowth of hair on the body, that will go down. So bariatric surgery have positive effect on the reproductive females reproductive life and the males reproductive life. In the females, the testosterone level will go down, and the males testosterone level will go up. So it has a positive effect on the reproductive life. After bariatric surgery, on sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is when you have a snoring at night. So the snoring would be the initial part of developing obstructive sleep apnea. It is a very dangerous condition when you have a decreased concentration of the oxygen in the brain cell at night, and you suddenly awaken up, and then you go, even it may be for few fractions of the second that you don't know how many times you are awakening at night because of obstructive sleep apnea. So this is basically linked with the obesity because of the fat around the neck. So there is an obstruction to your windpipe, and the oxygen going towards your brain, that goes down. And when there is a decreased concentration of the brain cells of the oxygen, then automatically the brain is going to awaken up you that, look, my oxygen level is going down, please do something. So there is a frequent awakening at night. This is known as obstructive sleep apnea. And sometimes this is so dangerous that because of this, there can be a silent death at night. So this is after the bariatric surgery, we are having the relief from the obstructive sleep apnea also. And a lot of other comorbid conditions, they are also going to be, there is a major resolution after the bariatric surgery. So here I would say, combination of your good diet, then modification of your lifestyle, and the bariatric surgery. All three, they have additive action or the mechanism for the resolution of all the conditions which are there as a part of the metabolic syndrome.
Very, very nicely explained, Dr. Saggu. I always enjoy your talks because I'm diabetic, so I'm extremely sensitive. I've been through sleep apnea. Now I've lost weight, so it's that's not so much of a problem. But I really enjoy your talks because, and not only that, I think when it builds overall health, in terms of a pandemic, we become less susceptible. Otherwise, we diabetics are so vulnerable to these kind of things.
Yeah, because any kind of disease, whether it is a diabetes, whether it is a hypercholesterolemia, whether it is a hypertension, it's a sleep apnea, they are going to eat up your immunity. So when you don't have you can say the average or the good immunity, then you are susceptible to each and every pandemic. It may be COVID, it may be influenza, it may be HIV, it may be anything. So any type of the disease, it may be simple respiratory infection. So because of the chronic diseases, it is going to eat your immunity. And when you don't have an immunity, you are susceptible to a lot of things.
A lot of things, yes.
No, and I think that it's like we keep reiterating, these are not habits just to survive COVID. Again, this is good habits to protect you completely, because obesity is on the rise, and we need to eliminate the obesity, think a little bit smarter about our health and how we can beat it. And I think that there are some cases, maybe, I don't know, maybe you can correct me, but there are some cases of obesity that maybe could not have been prevented. But for the most of it, I think it's just our standard lifestyles that we have changed in the past 10 years. Our foundation changed. And these are good things to talk about routinely, to remind ourselves, you can eat better.
Yeah. So one thing we should keep in mind, that the obesity is not a God gifted. It has not come to you through the nature. It is a man-made. It is a man-made disease. It is a man-made disease. And if it is a man-made disease, you can always control this. And everything is in your hands. Everything is in control. So it's a mindset. You have to change your mindset. You have to change your diet pattern. You have to change your lifestyle.
Yeah, and that's a good point, that it is a man-made disease. There are a lot of man-made diseases, and there are things those are the things that we're supposed to control, and we're not. And we just need to be on top of it. I see it all the time, and I ask myself, how does this happen? I think it starts here. It starts with a poor foundation, but also something that irritates me is it's cheaper to buy the poor quality foods and the foods that are not good for us than it is to buy the healthier foods. A mom can go in and buy several bags of potato chips and hand them out to the kids for less than what she could buy one bag of oranges or apples or bananas. And that shouldn't be. We should be encouraged and inspired and rewarded for shopping healthier. And we're not. It's just, nature
is providing us a healthy food. Nature is providing us a healthy food. Nature is providing us fruits, vegetables, lot of complex sugars, the natural sugars. We have a polyunsaturated fatty acids. Lot of things are there in the nature. But what we are doing, The man is playing with all these things. We are interfering. We are making those healthy food into ultra processed diet.
Yeah.
So we are processing the things. If we are processing the things given by the nature, now the nature has started processing us. And when the nature is going to process us, we have seen the results of COVID-19.
Yeah, I mean, and I think one of my doctors one time, he shared with me that it's healthier to eat the fruit than drink the juice. You know, I was always saying, well, I'm drinking the juice, I'm drinking the, and he goes, no, 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 your body needs to die. That's why nature made it this way. Your body needs to digest the fruit. It's healthier for the body and it processes. That's why the fruit grew that way. So yeah, you're right. We go out and we process it in ways we shouldn't be. We need, our bodies need to eat it the way it grows. It just, it's just,
I have a question for you regarding the bariatric surgery. So we have seen that there are a lot of young children, basically, or newborn child, they are obese. Since the day they born, maybe they started getting the obesity maybe in very early age. So what is the difference between that obesity and that obesity which we created after maybe after late 30s or early 40s?
Ankit, there are a lot of causes for the obesity, and one of the causes is genetic also, the environmental also, and your lifestyle also. You know, the genetic also plays around 10 to 20% of the obesity. There is a Prader-Willi syndrome, there is a leptin resistance syndrome. So a lot of syndromes are there because of the mutation in the genes. You have an obesity prevalence in the family. But now, which we are seeing the adolescent obesity, moreover, that adolescent obesity is because the environment of that family is not good.
Yeah.
If there is a genetic, the genetic can occur in one or two adolescent in the family. But you know, all the adolescent in the family, they are, you know, a lot of families, they have everybody is obese. So that is because the environment of your family is not good. You are more prone to have obesity. So that is the major reason. So if there is even in the genetic obesity also, we are doing the bariatric surgery. We have done 4-year-old boy also, and they also need some sort of surgery because you know ultimately this surgery is going to change the hormone level inside the body, and according to the hormone levels, the obesity or there would be the weight loss, and we can say the less prevalence for the diabetes or hypertension to develop in the adolescent or in the adulthood. So those type of the obesity can also be controlled, but moreover, these obesity is because of the family environment. You know, the obesity is running in the family because nobody is running in the family.
Yeah.
So that is the family environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So well said, sir. Well said. And also, we have seen that. There is still a gap whenever you go out and try to buy the diet foods and things like that. They are not available in the market, and people tend to buy food which says healthy food, but they are not healthy for you. So, what kind of food habits we need to develop, especially for the obese people? I'm not talking about myself, but generally for the obese, because they also would like to eat all those junk food, but how they can, try to prevent themselves from eating those foods and try to change the diet.
Yeah, there should be an ABCD formula. A is for the adequacy. Your diet has to be adequate, having all the things. Number B is balanced. The diet has to be balanced. You know, the lot of things are there like dairy products. They are good. You can say they are not good in the protein, but they have some sort of natural carbohydrate. They have some sort of iron or other things. So you can combine always the constituents. Some constituents they have a deficiency of something, and they have a deficiency of other things. So the diet should be balanced. C is the calorie. You should see your diet should provide you lesser in the calorie. It should be more, bulky diet. So the bulky diet will make you full early.
Okay.
So you will consume less calories. So you should have a bulky food. Then it should be adequate, balanced, less calorie, and it should have a moderation in everything. Moderation in everything.
And also, sir, how important is if we start, doing our dinner early, maybe before 7, and then that will also help in the lifestyle?
Yeah, that way we can see your metabolism, the timing of the metabolism. So the meals has to be according to the timing of the metabolism. So if we see there are so many studies which they studied the level of the ghrelin. Level of the ghrelin. Ghrelin is an hormone that is orexogenic, that increase your appetite. So in the morning at 7 o'clock, there is a peak of the ghrelin. Then at 12 o'clock, there is a peak of the ghrelin. Then 6 o'clock, there is a peak of the ghrelin. So it means after 7 in the morning, 7 to 9, the metabolism is very fast. Then 12 to 2 is the metabolism is fast. And then around, you can say 6 to 8 is the metabolism is fast. So these are the timing for your meals. If you take meals in those timings, in those intervals, the metabolism would be good. Your food would be digested well. If you are taking your meals beyond these timings, maybe your dinner after 8, then your metabolism becomes slow. And when the metabolism is slow, your digestion is not good. Whatever you have eaten, that would be deposited. The absorption of the glucose depends on the concentration of the glucose in the body. So if you already have a high glucose at 8 o'clock time, then whatever you will eat, the glucose, that would be absorbed and that would be deposited in form of fat and the glycogen.
Okay.
Because what we do, we spend our money in the daytime, and whatever the extra we have, we always keep handy to us. So fats and the glycogen, they can easily break up and give the glucose. Right. So that is why the rest of the glucose, which is not used by your blood, by your blood and then your body cells, that has been deposited in form of the fat and the glycogen. So that will what that will give you. The fat will give you more adipose tissue, and the glycogen will give you more glycogen deposition in the liver. So liver will also become fatty. Your abdomen will also become fatty. The periphery will become fatty. So that is why we should eat our meals in time period of when your metabolism is on the faster side.
How do you spell that hormone ghrelin?
That is GHRELIN. Ghrelin.
GHRELIN. Okay, because I just wanted to study that. And the last three, you said A, B, C, D: adequacy, balanced, calorie, low calorie, and what was D?
D was, I let you know D. I forgot the D.
No worries. Okay, I'm making notes here every time you speak.
We can rewind the video and we can get to know what is the DV part.
Okay.
And Dr. Saggu, that in India people used to have that early morning tea or bed tea. How good or bad is that bed tea for your health?
Sorry?
So generally we take early morning bed tea or morning tea without having empty stomach basically. So is it good or bad for health?
No, always best is you take a plain warm water in the morning in spite of taking any type of sugary things, because your tea is enriched with the sugar, right? So the morning tea is not good. It's a fashion. Sometimes husband gives to the wife and sometimes wife gives to the husband. So this is give and take. It's not good. It doesn't have any nutritional value.
To maintain the household democracy and to maintain the household peace, we need to have
this. This is the maintain the relationship between husband and wife.
Yeah.
Nothing else. And bedtime at the dinner, after the dinner is also not good. I think after 7 o'clock, you need not to have any type of carbohydrate. If you want to have, you can have a natural carbohydrate that can be from your fruits, that can be from your dairy products. You can have a milk at night. And Mr. Rakesh, the D is nutrient density. The density of the nutrients has to be good in your diet. So A, B, C, and D.
Okay.
Density. Okay. What about, so I never put sugars in my teas. Is that okay I usually just get tea straight. So, but I believe in a glass of water when I first wake up, and I brush my teeth and get a glass of water and then go to my tea or coffee. So, but I don't put any additives in my tea.
Yeah, if we can have a glass of warm water before brushing your teeth, that is good, because your overnight saliva is alkaline, and always good to have a alkaline water into your stomach. that will neutralize your acidity. So
Okay.
to neutralize your acidity in the stomach, you need to have a alkaline saliva inside the stomach. So always good to have a glass of water before brushing your teeth.
I see. I didn't know that. That is good information. Oh
Very
my
good.
gosh! Wow. I mean, and that will help probably with our digestive system
Yeah,
throughout the day and everything. So
yeah, that's
I'm
true.
gonna
That's
switch
true.
it. I'll have my warm glass of water when I wake up, and then brush my teeth, and then go.
Then brush your teeth. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least
Awesome.
swallow your saliva. That is why swallowing your saliva is very important. It has a lot of nutritional value also. Lot of enzymes are there. Amylase is there. Amylase is very important enzyme for the digestion.
So are there some teas that are better for you than other teas? Because you always read these labels, right? And they go, "Oh, this tea's better for digestive," and this. Are there some teas that are really better for you than others?
You can have a green tea because green tea have antioxidants, and the antioxidants always take away the free oxygen radicals you have in your body. So to get rid of your free radicals, antioxidants, any type of antioxidant, whether it is a green tea, whether it is a vitamin B, vitamin D, vitamin C, these all, vitamin E also, they are all antioxidants. So having an antioxidant is good for your skin, good for your body.
Okay. No, I think that's good to know. I just,
Yeah.
you always read labels, right? They go, "Oh, this is better for you than this," and ginger tea is better for your digestive system. I think if you mix spices up, it's probably good. But yeah.
These herbs are important for your immunity. Even ginger is good. Even the garlic is also good. Turmeric is also good. You can have a cumin seeds also. So these spices which we use for your cooking, that are very important to boost up your immunity. So for that case, you can have a turmeric, you can have a garlic, ginger. These are good.
No, I agree.
My wife takes turmeric with coffee regularly. She enjoys it.
Okay. I actually take turmeric with the milk during at night
Right,
with 2 cloves of garlic.
Oh,
I never heard of that. That's it.
Yeah, that is an immunity booster. That is an immunity booster. And because I got my tooth extracted, so it's good for that also.
No, I think that's I would have never thought of that. What's interesting is I would feed my dog garlic every day. And you know why I did that? To keep the ticks and fleas off of my dog, right? So my dog was eating healthy, and one day I'm like, well, if I want the fleas and ticks off my dogs, one of me, why don't I eat the garlic, right? so
I think the turmeric is good for skin as well. I think Dr. Tulla is with us.
It's a good antiseptic. Yeah, antiseptic, and it's good for the skin also.
So,
Tulla.
Hello, sir. How are you? If we go by literature, if we go by the ancient literature, this turmeric or haldi, which we know in India, it was used for a lot of ailments of skin. Especially even in burns, they were using this. So even people who used to get burnt, they were using this as a
turmeric.
treatment. And yeah, so.
Sir, we can't hear you. You need to.
Oh, sorry.
We can't hear you.
Ask him to pick his mic
up. Is it better now? Yeah, is it better now?
It's better now, but there's some blocking as well on your camera.
Okay, I got it now. Yeah. So I guess so. This is what the thing is, that if you go by our ancient literature also, so there are a lot of practices which being done before, and turmeric is one of the most, you can say, an immunity booster also, as well as it was used in a lot of skin treatments, including burns, as I told you. So this is there with the turmeric story. Now comes with the tea. Now we need to understand that tea basically is a plant. See, you need to understand what is the difference between the various kind of teas, right? So there are 2 steps in teas which they are done. One is basically a rolling. That is, once the tea leaves are plucked out of the tea garden, so there is a step which is known as rolling, in which what they do is, this is basically partially processed tea. That means that there are the leaves which are basically dried and rolled over, and then the other steps of tanning and other things come into the picture. So tea, the green tea, which you basically is available all across the world by different trade names and all, that is basically, you can call it very lightly processed tea. So it's basically, I mean, minimally processed, right? The rest of the teas which are available with us, the common brands all around, they are processed tea. So you have tannin in greater quality in them. So we need to understand two things when we are taking tea. One is that we have a practice of including milk in tea, and especially in India, we have this habit of boiling the tea too much, right? Now, this is not a good thing to do. Though we Indians are hooked to boiling tea, we love to boil the tea in the pot and keep it boiling and boiling. I am also, I'm an, a culprit in that I do that a lot, and it makes the tea tastier. But unfortunately, it does not make it decreases the nutritive value of the tea. So there is this challenge between taste and nutrition. So rule of thumb all over is that always you see that if you talk about nutritious food, it's going to be little less on taste, right?
Yeah.
That's typical of it. So the more the oil you put in, the more you put in the cheese, marmalade,